looking like we're in good shape. Now, gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out. I've really dug Groovology, so it's great to talk to you.
Thanks,
Oh,
man.
thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Yeah, I've already had it on the program, so it's been a joy to listen to, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. It's not every day you run into a group from Honolulu, so it's nice.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in Kansas City, so it is very, very cold today. So I could use all of that residual Hawaiian air if I can get my hands on it.
All right.
So, gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it. Let's get into the album, but before we do, I want to know, you know, this pandemic did a whole lot for the world in general, but for artists and musicians, it was really a shapeshifter. How much of going through that time period influenced the formation of the band, this album? Did it have any effect at all?
Well, during the pandemic, I was still teaching middle school band. I was a middle school band director, and I was teaching remotely, and I had this huge band room with a drum set, a nice drum set, amps, and a PA system, and all this equipment not being used. And so I knew that most of the gigs around town were canceled. So I started getting in touch with all of my musician buddies saying, "Hey, let's get together and jam." And I just started setting up jam sessions at the school in the music room. And late at night we just pick tunes that we were working on individually, and we'd all bring these different tunes. And um, these three other cats, Aaron, Ernie, and Scott, were the ones that continually showed up consistently and brought their own takes on songs that they were working on and originals. And so it just started to become a thing with those cats. And out of that, I just started to get the idea of, hey, we got all these originals. Why don't we make a recording?
Yeah.
And the drummer actually had the email address Scott Shafer at groovology.com, or Scott Shafer Groovology. And I thought, hey, man, that's a cool name. Why don't we just use that as our group name?
Yeah.
So I kind of that's how it kind of started. And
Okay.
and Aaron is such a prolific composer. I mean, he's got like two or three hundred originals and four or five CDs that he's made. And so he's just continually bringing cool charts to the rehearsals and practices. And so that was sort of like the beginning of it all.
Yeah, I talked to you, Joe, a couple of years ago. That's when I had the other album, Eastbound Connection.
Yeah. We did hook up. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
and Dave and Scott are on that too.
Yeah. Right on. So we're having a rendezvous. I meant
Yeah.
to say at the top of the hour, when I used to run around in my 20s and people would ask me what I wanted to do with my life, I wasn't 100% sure, but the thing that I was firm about was I just want to live in Hawaii and have my own radio show. So I'm halfway there.
All right.
Hey,
Just have
man.
have my hammock on the beach, have a jazz show, so I'm halfway there. So I'm curious. Take me into the studio. You're laying down the album, you're trying to make your impression on the world of jazz. What was kind of the philosophy methodology? What were you going after?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I can speak a little to that. You know, going into the studio is expensive, and it can be it can be very daunting because you're laying down tracks, and in this day and age, a lot of cats are just kind of recording individual tracks and sending them in at different times. And so oftentimes I feel like you don't get a as live a recording as possible without, I mean, you could go to a club and record live, but that's a whole nother deal with setting up remote mics and stuff. But Aaron is so skilled at, I mean, he's like a Renaissance guy. He does he does recording. He does he has a remote recording setup. So we actually just kind of recorded in our rehearsal space, and that's another cool thing. I retired 2 years ago, right after, just before the pandemic was kind of chilling out. And so I didn't have a rehearsal space anymore. But the bass player, Ernie Provencher, still teaching school, and he has a space. And so we started rehearsing there, practicing there, and it actually has a pretty decent sound. His room has a nice sound, so we just decided to set up our mics in that room and record live there. So I kind of like the feel of the album in that it's a lot of one take recordings. I mean, I listen to it, and I when I listen to my own self, I kind of cringe sometimes because I hear stuff that I could do better, but kind of like a picture is a photograph of a moment in time, and our recording is kind of like just a moment in time, and I kind of dig that about it, that we just recorded a lot of it live. I mean, the drums, we just mic'd the drums, and I recorded my guitar direct in. The bass went to, oh, we mic'd the bass, but we set up kind of a plexiglass shield, and then Aaron went direct with his keyboard. And at his home, I think Aaron overdubbed a lot of the sax. So that was kind of the recording process. I don't know. How about you, Aaron? How did you feel about it?
Well, there were a few of them where actually most of the sax was live, maybe half of it.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I had a little shield, and I had, it was kind of halfway. Actually, more, yeah, just about half of it was live. Then I added the keyboard later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Um, I really, I mean, besides the fact of saving a ton of money in the recording studio,
Yeah.
um, I think I think recording live like that has a certain quality that's different than a lot of recordings that I hear, and a lot of recordings that I've done in the past. Most of my recordings in the past have all been done in a studio, and a lot of it overdubbed. So, I'm kind of digging this process in this way. It's kind of like it's almost kind of retro, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are you ultimately hoping the listener gets from this album?
All right. Like you're saying, everything is live, and it's kind of, it's the whole sound is our interaction, and we're really just feeling it. Well, I'd say it's like it's I guess that's what we wanna try to get across, get the feeling of the band, the music.
Exactly. Exactly. I think the communication between us, and just the I just want to feel like I'm putting forth um I guess it's an honesty. I guess it's just, I'm not trying to show off, I guess, or just show out, as much as I'm trying to find the center of the sound, and the feeling of the music on each track. that we play and each song that we play. And we're going to play live this coming Sunday at the Musicians Union here in Hawaii. They have a big room, and we've invited a ton of people, and so that's going to be a great opportunity for us to present all this stuff.
So why does it work? Why does it work with you guys? What is it? Because obviously, when you form a band, there's got to be chemistry. There's got to be a vibe. Obviously, you're communicating. But from your estimation, why does this work so well? Because it does. I mean, the album's wonderful. You obviously all intermesh very well. But from your vantage point, why does it work?
Well, thanks. For my vantage point, I've gigged with Aaron in so many different situations, just guitar and piano, a lot of corporate gigs and a lot of background music gigs where we're just playing tunes. So I've become really familiar with Aaron and with Ernie as well. The three of us worked together quite a bit. And Scott and I, the drummer, and I have played in, I don't know, about 5 or 6 different groups here in Hawaii in all kinds of different, pop situations and rock situations. And so I feel like I know these cats really well. I feel like I know them musically really well. And I feel like when they go someplace musically, I feel like it's easy for me to follow them and go with them and help them go there. So that's how I feel we mesh. That's how come I feel like we get together so well.
Yeah, Dave and I, we used to playing with each other. So it's always, there's always a communication right there. We leave enough space for each other, or we know when to lead or when to go, fall back.
So what is the scene like in Hawaii? I'm curious. I've never really got a good kind of bead on the radar of what's going on. What's going on in your neck of the woods? How's the scene?
Always kind of, well, I don't know. I'm not really, really busy all the time, right? I don't, I try not to take too much commercial gigs anymore. That's why I'm kind of sitting on my phone at home like a trombone player.
I think there are few uh, jazz venues, a lot of them that feature jazz primarily have kind of closed down since the pandemic. So that's kind of a drag. I mean, there's one place, I guess it's the Blue Note Hawaii,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
where Aaron and I have played at before,
Yeah.
and with different groups. That might be a cool place for us to play eventually. Um, but they're booking more. Actually, the last time I looked at their calendar, I didn't see any um, kind of mainstream jazz acts in there. A lot of. Are you familiar with Hawaiian music?
No.
Oh, it's like a reggae and Hawaiian music combined. It's really reggae music,
Okay.
but that they book a lot of Hawaiian music in there. I think a couple weeks ago they had the Stylistics, and so they're kind of booking different acts.
Yeah.
Average White Band came through, Tower Powers come. So they're not booking when they first opened up, they were like booking. I saw Chick Corea there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, all the
God,
majors. Yeah.
God rest his soul. And I saw um, uh, John Schofield and Larry Carlton, but those kind of acts don't come through that often here in Hawaii. I grew up most of my life. I grew up in Seattle. Okay, so here's my claim to fame. I went to high school. I played in the high school jazz band with Kenny G. So,
Okay.
okay, so don't hold that on me, but
No, of course not.
hey, I love Kenny. He's a great guy. He's actually an amazing technician, musician.
Yeah.
And he's got his thing, and I respect him for that. But you know, the difference between here and then I moved to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and Aaron lived in the Bay Area, and he can tell you there were so many nights where I could go out and see world class, jazz music any night of the week, Latin jazz, fusion, anything. I could see world class music on a daily basis anytime in the Bay Area. And here in Hawaii, it's kind of not like that. It's just hit or miss. It's one or two
Yeah.
places, but I feel like it's coming back. I feel like there are places that are starting to have nights, one or two nights a week. Restaurants will feature a jazz band, so that's kind of a cool thing. And I'm more optimistic about the scene here in Hawaii, you know. So
So
anyway, that's
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
that's great. That gives me a good backdrop. So do you guys have a new album in the works? How long is this band gonna last? What's the future?
Well, we still got a whole bunch of tunes, and we got the band room. We can record anytime.
Yeah, the future is just, we're gonna keep plugging along. Since I retired from teaching, um actually oddly enough, I feel like I'm more busier now than I was when I was teaching. Um, I got, projects going on here at the house. I got, uh, well, not to get too specific, but remodeling going on here at my place. So, I got to work on that. Uh, just life. And I still have a bunch of private students. Aaron and I both teach private students still.
Okay.
So still got that going on. And of course, the gigs that come through. And like Aaron was saying, I I was offered to play a bunch of gigs just recently. A band asked me, "Hey, we're playing all these well, I'll say oldies, but they're like 70s, 80s, and 90s tunes." And they're a corporate band. They play all over these islands, and they're busy all the time. I looked at their calendar when the leader asked me if I wanted to play in the band, and they're gigging Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all over the place. And I looked at the music and I said, "Oh, I know all those tunes, pick up the pieces, you ought to be having fun, all these pop tunes that I already know." But I thought, oh, do I really want to work that hard? Do I want to haul my gear and play until 1 o'clock in the morning at some club and then drag my equipment back home after? And then, sure, it pays good. And I can say, oh, I'm working all the time. But, you know, it's as they say, it's the quality often, not just the quantity.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I want to play these gigs with the music that I love with these cats, and I want to feature that more. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Well,
I just want to haul equipment for something worthwhile playing.
there you go. That should be on the back of a t-shirt, you know? So let me ask you this. Where's the best place for people to pick up a copy of the album that will benefit you the most? Find out about any gigs that might come up for you guys, anything that's going on in Groovology, where do they go?
Well, I got the groovologyhawaii.com webpage going on, and there's links to iTunes and Spotify. I mean, as they say, I've got a million seller. I've got a million CDs in my cellar, right? That's the old
Oh
joke.
no, same here, man.
But people aren't buying CDs anymore or physical copies. They're downloading, so that's cool. But we're up on Amazon Music and Spotify. Essentially, I used CD Baby to help me promote
Okay.
a lot of these, and we've got um, we've got interesting radio play going on. You're featuring us, and so I'm excited about that. And if people want to download individual tracks, that's cool, or the album. As I said, it's on iTunes, and I still have mailers, and I just sent one to Tokyo. So actually, interestingly enough, it cost me $20 to send it to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, from here. And I had to fill out a bunch of this customs form or
Uh-huh.
something. So physical copies, but I still send them out if people want them,
Yeah.
and that's cool. Um, but yeah, I think mainly Spotify and iTunes, Amazon Music, it's all there. It's all available there, the content. So
Okay. Good deal. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for opening up about it. Again, I love it. It's been profile on the show. I'm looking forward to getting it out further. So thank you. Best of luck and send my love to Hawaii.
I appreciate
Oh,
you,
thank you, Joe.
Joe. Hey,
Thank
you
you.
gotta do this, Joe.
Yeah,
You gotta do this.
That's
Hey,
right.
shaka, brah.
That's right. I got to get into the local, man.
yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely.
man. Hey,
I'm,
are you a Chiefs fan?
yeah. Yeah. I grew up. Look, so there's a lot of people in the world now that are going to claim I grew up next to where they used to do training camp as a kid, used to play basketball. So it was before anybody really knew them. So I'm still in absolute shock that we've won as much as we have and that we're on the doorstep of potentially doing something really big. It's weird.
Hey, man. Well, good luck to your team this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
After the
fun.
game. Yeah, man.
It's a lot of
Hey,
fun.
hey, man. After the game, you might be able to live stream our performance. I think we're going to have a live stream.
Okay, cool.